It's
Oh,
important. Good morning, good people. How is it going? Good morning, Sonya.
hey, how are you?
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you. Yesterday, I had on shorts and a shirt, and today I got on sweats and a little fleece because temperature done changed on me.
Yeah, I got my denim jacket on over here too.
It's real. It's real. And so, guys, if you get a chance, go ahead and share. I'm gonna just kick us off. I know Sonya's gonna get her shares out. People are already checking in. Hey, Dominique, thank you for jumping on last night. And just as we start up, I just want to take a minute or two and just really thank all the parents who were able to jump on last night. I just thought it was refreshing, important. We had parents like Dominique, grandparents who I think Dominique, you were in our class 5 for the fellowship, and so just hearing from parents, but also having parents hear other parents say similar things about issues, and this thing really started to connect on how we can really make a difference. I just went to bed really excited. I even woke up this morning at 4:20. I was like, it is 4:20. Yesterday it was 4:20. It just told me something. It told me, waking up at that time that we were on to something. Maybe it was Groundhog's Day, but I'm really encouraged. Really look forward to our discussion today. And really look forward to the parents who are going to be chiming in with these topics, because we got some really good topics that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah,
Sonya,
John,
how did you feel?
man, powerful. And what I mean by that is when I think about electricity and power, you can't get like something powered like your cell phone without connecting it to power. And last night I felt connected to powerful parents.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it energized me, and it electrified me. It inspired me
Mm-hmm.
to be amongst such powerful parents and grandparents who represent our most struggling communities, and parents who've always fought for their children. And what they know now is that it's all about creating a movement.
Yeah. 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 And I see we got Thomas on. We got Joyce. Both were on the call last night. Joyce, cohort 4, representing, and then Thomas, cohort 7, representing. And also, what I've just seen this week, last week, we made the appeal for summer school. And so it was just some parents who are reaching out that we were talking to and helping get their kids signed up, learning more about the program, how long it was. Some people even saying they heard about it online from Propel, our parent group. And it's just been really interesting listening to parents as they talk about TN Ready this week. We heard one of our current fellowship parents going up to the school to demand that they provide a parapro. Like it was based on her working with her organizer, based on her listening to Access Denied, but also participating in some of the fellowship activities. She was calm and collect, but demanded. And they came back and said, yeah, it wasn't the teacher we normally have her at, but it's another one. And so all I heard was, we didn't have it at first, but now we got to save face and get it.
And that makes me kind of sad too, right?
Mm-hmm.
If a child has a parent, that means that it is accommodation
Mm-hmm.
that by federal, state, and local law that they should have. And why do parents have to demand something that's already deserved? I struggle with that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that our movement is about making sure that we make those demands, but it's almost sad because it's like just needing oxygen. Like we can't survive without our bodies being properly oxygenated. And it's just a no-brainer. Like if the child is supposed to have a para, where is the leadership in the school?
Right.
Who has oversight within the school, within the district, within the state, within the federal government? We hear these stories, these problems all day, every day. And I always say, you hear it once, maybe a coincidence. You hear it twice, it's a trend. But we're hearing this thousands of parents saying, they all saying the same thing. And somebody doing some bad leadership, some bad coaching in these schools, when you got people who do not understand the regulations, the law. They don't understand that, first of all, children should get quality anyway. I don't care if they do have a disability, but dang, like, I just wonder how much money this district spends in lawsuits. Maybe it ain't enough.
Maybe it ain't enough. And that's what we want to talk about. So as we talk about Tea and Ready, because it's this week and it's really important. And we had a lively discussion last week. We had parents who were talking about the parapros. We had parents who were discussing on whether to send their kids back. And we had good discussions. I think a few teachers even chimed in. And so that was good. And we definitely want to talk about that. We want to get back into this Promising Scholars program. I think right now, they said, Sonia, we may be up to, it was either 73 or 8,100 students who have signed up. And so I'm going to go down the list, Sonia, at one point as of last Friday, per school, how many kids have signed up. And I want you guys to call out your school or the school that you're thinking about sending your kid to, just to see the numbers of where we at, because I think that'll be important. And we also want to check in with you guys. What is on your mind? What's keeping you up at night, so we can make sure we also talk about the things that definitely matter to parents. And so if you get a chance, if you can just share this out, because we're about to get right into the conversation. Again, it's always good when we get the feedback and we get the conversations. And so I'm going to take a little bit of time and go through the Promising Scholars just to show just where are we on how many people have signed up and what schools do we have them at. And again, this was as of Friday, which I believe was the 16th. Let me see. It should be pulling up. Okay. Okay, I got it right here. All right, share screen. Okay. And just as you guys see this, good morning, Maria. All right, we got Miss Gardner, Nashville Classical. We got Tierra checking in. Good morning. And so just as we went back over and wanted to make sure, just giving you guys the details around the Promising Scholars, you know, it's the registration that runs through May 5th. So we don't have that much time to make sure we're getting parents registered. We got actually a parent registered today. Then it was more than 6,300 applications. Parents will start receiving acceptance letters on Friday. That was the 16th. And then more than 2,250 staff applied with their acceptance letters going out April the 30th. And this is for the teachers. I think that's what Sonia was talking about. The check, the stipend that they get, I think it was between $4,000 and $7,000, just depending on what you did, what grade level you taught, and what school you taught at. So that's the Promising Scholars program. And again, feel free. We'll put this link out here. Share it out. Connect it to your Facebook groups. Connect it to your family and friends so they can know and make sure that they're signing their kids up. But it's summer.mmps.org. And I think one of our parents will put that in there Thomas or Cliff, if you can put that in the link in the chat, summer.mmps.org.
Man, words mean so much to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I need to explain how I got here. Why I always tell parents to question everything and everybody, and there you find the truth. Hey, Kim, good morning. Because when I started this journey years ago, I have 4 children. I did ask questions, but I also had a level of trust because I trusted that I was sending my children into school buildings and amongst subject matter experts and that always looked at me and said that we care about your children. People have said nice things, and good people, a lot of good people, a lot of good educators, a lot of good principals, and I trusted. But there came a time when I realized that I was betrayed by the system. And so as we're talking about this summer program, you have to question everything and everybody. And so you find the truth. And so it says promising scholars. And the question that you should be asking as a parent is, what is the promise? What are they promising us? Words mean everything to me. What is the promise? I hadn't seen it yet. What are they promising? From June the 7th to July the 2nd. What is the promise? What is the outcome that you should be expecting? What is the promise? Promise me what? Promise scholars what? What are we promising them? Stop word playing us. Stop making beautiful PowerPoints. Stop talking shit to me about my children. Sorry, but I'm a little angry today. I'm agitated. And I think I have the right to be. See, some people got this stigma about angry Black women. Well, hell, I am. I'm an angry Black mama. I think I have the right to be because I birthed some babies. So don't tell me not to be mad and angry. But you need to tell me what you promising me so I can track that. So I can make sure you deliver on your promise, because I done been promised too much and I've been hurt too much and I've been betrayed and I've been let down. And I'm not speaking for myself. When I say me, we represent Black and brown families from our most struggling communities. We live, we are our people. So ask yourself, what is the promise? Hey, Cliff, good morning. What are they promising us? They're promising us that your children will get summer tutoring. But what is the outcome? What is your expectations? My good friend, Visha Hawkins, we always talk about that. I love to hear her talk about expectations. I think she should write a book about that. Such a powerful word. We should have high expectations, not just even to the system. We should have high expectations for our children. And we should expect that our children, number one, are taught how to read so that they can learn. And we should expect that our children, when they go into these classrooms, whether it be home or virtual, that they are learning. We should expect and have an expectation that our children will have the ultimate form of safety, that our children will be treated like human beings, and that our children will be put on a trajectory towards success so that they are career ready and or college ready. And that's not happening. And so folk are not living up to the expectation. So my question to you, Joyce and Cliff and Kimberly and Tamika, I see you. I see you. What is the promise? Cliff says Promise Scholars Program sounds a lot like priority schools. Cliff, I wish you was on here. I want to hear your thoughts about that. John, can we get Cliff on here?
Yep. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna invite him. I'll tell you where it's coming from. And Cliff, check your email. I mean, talking to parents. I mean, like we thought leaving this conversation 2 weeks ago that we definitely wanted to invest deeply. So we started reaching out to parents and asking parents, have you signed up? And some parents did, but a lot of parents didn't know about it. And we were talking and helping sign them up. But within that, we started to relationship build. And this is like Cliff's third or fourth week. And so he started to realize a trend himself. And he was like, okay, like, what's the bigger picture? And I was like, just keep asking questions. Keep asking questions.
I got a question. I see a trend.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Megan from the Tennessee, and I saw you like the tweet. And maybe you can answer this, Megan. Does the district really want people to know about it? All right. So let me explain about this. Explain this. There's a trend of putting lipstick on a pig. My good friend Visha uses that analogy. I love it. I stole it from her. Yes, it is on the MNPS website, and it's probably on the Facebook. You let us know when men act a fool in class. You let us know if our lunch bill is behind.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't paid it. You even let us know if you want us to fight for more money for the system. Mm-hmm. I hear board members talk about it all the time. You got some board members, that's their message. Underfunding.
Yeah. We don't have the money.
Where is everybody about recovering? Where's the conversation from every single educator, every single counselor, mm-hmm. every single board member? John, you doing your thing. You going door to door telling people about it.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the relationship? Where are we meeting families? If we are knocking on doors and parents don't know about it, there is some disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this about Liberty Collegiate Academy. And yeah, it's a charter school, and forget what you think about charter schools. I don't care. Don't even have that conversation with me. Because if it was a traditional school, I would say the same thing.
Yep.
I don't care. If it was a private school, I would say the same thing. My kids have been in all of them. I don't care about school model, who operates it. I care about my children getting quality.
Mm-hmm.
So let me be clear. Thank you, Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Let me be clear. We should be ensuring that the communication is clear. The teachers, one of CJ's teachers contacted me the other night after hours, because we got to understand it. We have communication. Miss Collier, and I'm going to shout her out. I love Miss Collier. At first, Miss Collier didn't understand CJ. Oftentimes, it's happening in our district, right? People can't relate to the children. They can't connect with them. They don't understand what they go through. She sees a trend, and when CJ's performance goes down, she sent me a note and said he didn't finish his exit ticket. Did I holler? No. I said, thank you. She said, it's late. You can respond to me in the morning. But communication is everything, and relationship is everything. Mm-hmm. And we all can improve on it, but we got to be intentional. I went to CJ. I said, Miss Collier said you didn't turn in your exit ticket. What's going on, boo? He said, Mom, I had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at him and I said, son, we all have bad days, but we do have expectations that we have to, live up to. And I said, can we talk about it? And he said, I just don't feel like talking about it today. And I said, well, do me a favor. I said, I want to respect that, because sometimes I don't want to talk when I'm upset. can we talk about this tomorrow? Because I really want to hear what's bothering you. He said, yes, ma'am. He finished his exit ticket. After I had the conversation with CJ, I reached out to Miss Collier and told her thank you, because she just could have gave him an F, but she didn't want to do that. She understands that things happen. But I told her my responsibility is to make sure that it happens. And so he did it. I told her thank you, but I also let her know he was having a bad day. And she said, you know what? I could kind of see he was having a bad day. She didn't shame him. She did not accuse him of not caring. I said that to say, communication is key. If you're in a classroom with 30 kids a day, why are we not reaching out to them parents if they ain't on the sign-up list? Maybe they don't know. Maybe they think they got to pay for it, and they got to pay for that versus paying rent. Which one you going to choose, John? If you got to pay for tutoring or you got to pay the rent, which one you going to do?
Oh, all day blindly the rent.
Does that mean you don't care about your kid?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that you don't feel that education is not important? Doesn't mean that.
Mm-hmm. So
I know that was long-winded.
No, and the cost of living in Nashville is going up. And so as you look at this list, because I brought it up and I'm going to pull it through, it's about 2 pages. And let's just look through where most of the kids and this was again Friday the 16th, so it could have changed where they're signing up at. Let's see. Okay, so we got at the top of the list is Charlotte Park. And then I want to say at the bottom of the list is DuPont, Hadley, and then it just goes down. Some people got 1 on here. So at the top, let's see, we got Charlotte Park. So what's a good school that someone wants to call out so we can see how many kids have signed up for the summer school?
Put your kid's school name in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Lita.
Yeah. And while we're waiting on that, I'm going to tell you the good things about Lita. Right now, we just finished. Somebody said Aiken. We're going to pull it up. But Lita came to us. We met Lita out at an education event. She became part of the team for a while. She introduced us to the Campbells. The Campbells introduced us to parents in their church. And now their parents from their church are introducing us into parents in their community and their family. So just the level of organizing, I was just thinking through, like, how do we meet certain people? And that's been a ripple effect. So shout out to Lita for that. Somebody said Aiken. All right, we got Aiken first. All right, so Aiken, let me search. Okay. So it may not, let me go back. And let me know if you see Aiken on here too, because you know what? It may not even. So it's about 120 schools, and they're doing 100. Well, they're only doing 70 schools. So that's why Aiken may not be on there. So we got East End and Purpose Prep. Let's see where we are.
And let's be clear, while you're looking for that, just because your school name is not on there doesn't mean that your child can't participate. See,
good point. Good point.
This is the communication that should be happening. You know what? I want to charge someone in the district to come onto our show and answer questions and communicate. Look me in my eyes and help me. See, if a parent don't see their name on the list, you may think at the district, like, oh, well, they just know that they can go to any of these schools, right? They don't know, y'all, because you came up with the plan. Nobody even asked us.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what your vision is. So you got to communicate it. It's the Bible says to write the vision and make it plain, so we can hear it, so we can know it, we can feel it, so we can be vision carriers. We can connect to the vision. What are you promising us? Go ahead, John. I'm agitated today.
Yep. So I'm just going through to make sure, and I think IT Crestwell may be another school that's not on there. All right, let me go back.
That's a pretty picture, Dr. Battle.
Mm-hmm. So I think the schools that may be next, that may be close to IT Crestwell. What are some of those schools? It's what's a good middle school?
Okay, so what's over here? What's over here in the hood off of Chesapeake? What about Madison? What about the priority school? Madison, Haynes, Jerry Baxter, Maplewood.
Haynes has 51. Jerry Baxter has 19. And then you said another one.
Maplewood.
Maplewood has 14 at the high school.
Sonya.
Yeah.
I ain't calling my own name. Sonya, Maplewood principal. Sonya, get your students in them seats.
Yeah.
Sue, how many Hunters Lane got? Sue, I know Sue gonna do a thing. Sue, let me know. Sue, I will put on my tennis shoes because my daughter is graduating from that school. I will.
Hunters Lane has 21.
Sue, I know you listening to this. Let me know what I need to do. I will knock on doors and get Hunters Lane students in there. I will come over there. I will serve lunches if you need me to. I will make copies, whatever you need me to do. Sonya, whatever you need us to do to help you at Maplewood. I'm saying this because, and I'm saying this like it's a life support thing. Because it is. Sonya, get your students in those seats.
Yeah.
White Creek, they got the new principal over there that came from Madison. Everybody be pissed off at because they be seeing nothing. I ain't gonna say that anyway. Hope he make a change.
See, White's Creek.
How many White Creek got?
White Creek has 11.
Dude, get your student in those seats. Do what it takes. The district got too much money coming in here.
Did somebody say Charlotte Park? How many does Charlotte Park have? I think that's in West Nashville. Charlotte Park has 189.
What was our goal number of parents to have on our call last night?
It was 30.
We had 40.
Mm-hmm.
I brought that up for a reason. Maplewood, what's your goal?
Mm-hmm.
Hunters Lane, what's your goal? White Creek, what's your goal? Charlotte Park, looks like you probably got a goal.
Yeah. Intentional.
What is your goal? What do you want to be true with registrations? Mm-hmm. Dr. Battle, these schools that are low performing, Dr. Griffin, you should be in their ass because White Creek's got 11 students.
Mm-hmm.
And because Maplewood has 14.
Yep.
You should be on them. You should be on Sue. You should be on what is their goal? What are they doing to get these people in the seats? It's not about putting it on the MNPS website, putting it on the Twitter. First of all, parents ain't even know how they're on Twitter. Now, it ain't about just putting it on Facebook. What are you doing with the millions of dollars to get these people in these seats?
Yep. In McGavick High, we looked at another high schools that's similar, and instead of 12, they're at 112.
I got a question, John. I want to talk to a fictional board member.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I had a question. What happens if money is allocated for tutoring and we don't have enough children to enroll? Where does that money go?
Mm-hmm. So I would say this money came from state funds, and so it'll be reallocated to be spent on things that are around learning loss, because the summer school was set up to address learning loss. That was a big part of that budget. And so ideally they would have to spend it on something that addressed learning loss.
And what is that? Because we have not seen a plan to address learning loss.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know, or could you ask a
Mm-hmm.
board member to find out for us, if you don't spend it, then where does it go? Because I see 14 kids, a total of what, 8,000 kids, and that's 86,000 children in the district.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole lot of money, and that's a whole lot of accountability.
Yeah.
For somebody, us as parents, where is that money gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not if they're not enrolling in the summer school, hell, got more teachers than you do students almost.
Mm-hmm.
Then are we just gonna pay teachers bonuses to not teach to nobody? Hell, enroll me in summer school because I ain't get what the hell I need.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Enroll me in I need to be enriched. I'm a struggling reader. Hell, decode and my language comprehension and reading comprehension. Why are we not getting people in these seats? Why do I feel like we pressing the issue more than those who should be accountable?
Yeah. And let's ask people, because maybe that can take, like, as parents, guys, how could they do a better job of communicating out to get this message out? Like, I have some ideas myself, but as a parent who's not watching Access Denied, how could we better get this information out from the district?
What is the form of communication? I think that's the question. What is the form of communication that you must have as a parent? Because see, the putting it on the website doesn't work.
No.
I think they may have put it in the newspaper, which a lot of times you got to subscribe, and don't nobody have no subscription.
Right. We get a couple of free articles and we out.
Okay. A lot of times some stuff is on Twitter. Not a lot of parents are Twitter savvy.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen anything on Facebook. It might be there, but some parents work and they're not on Facebook that much.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're in a virtual setting, but our goal was 30 parents. We got 40 on there last night, so we made it happen. What kind? And I know that a lot of the schools do text message. I ain't seen no text message. Now, Tennessee Promise, whoever over there, baby, you don't work my nerves, but that's okay because you doing your thing. You don't get on my nerves because you texting me every 5 minutes, but that's okay. I ain't gonna complain. But I'm just gonna tell you the truth. You done got on my nerves. Texting me every 5 minutes, but you are communicating, and it is highly effective.
And Torvis asks, at this point, with this gazillion dollars they need to take on tutoring to the children, have a plan to make sure you do everything possible to get the kids what you need. And what I will put into that is something that we are already addressing, and something that's in our campaign that really connects to individual students. Because I think what I've heard about the tutoring program is no real plan. Like, I used to be a tutor when I was in college. Like, I would go right down the street and help kids, and I never came in with a plan. And I think I helped kids, right? But I don't think I maximized my value there. It was like, if I did it, great. If I didn't do it, great. So it was no, as Joyce says, there was no real incentive to really be prepared and really track, am I really helping little JJ? Like, what did I do for JJ with my tutoring? How has he gotten better?
And tutoring is great, right? When you have high quality instruction and instructors, tutoring is effective. The questions that we should be asking, guys, is who's doing it and what are they presenting to children? And then what is the end result of that? And how are we going to monitor that progress? I think that giving an incentive is important, right? Because you want to reward people. What I don't want to see is educators who have performed poorly in tutoring sessions. So where's the oversight on that too? Who's doing the tutoring? Who's effective? Who's evaluating that? Are we working with outside contractors? What are their track records?
Mm-hmm.
And I know, guys, you're like, how is Sonia thinking about that? Why is she thinking about it? How does she know what questions to ask? Because I question everything. Everything somebody tells me, I question it. And I do it because I've been betrayed. And so I have to separate whether or not I'm being betrayed or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The information just hasn't been made available, or is there wordplay? And you got to do the same. Like, who's tutoring your children?
Right.
Another thing, guys, and this is for the parents and grandparents. Now that you know, get them in those seats. Don't worry, don't worry about you're not punishing your children and sending them to a summer program.
Right.
Little JJ, he need to have his fun. Well, when he gets,
Amen.
He can have fun. And that's just with planning. JJ can go to Top Golf when he gets out of the summer program.
Yep. Or the little jump house.
Or the little jump house.
They love the jump house.
But you got to get these kids in a summer program, just like you got to take them for their yearly checkups.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to evaluate their, you make decisions about grocery shopping and all those things. Like, how is this going to benefit my child? And then I can hear a parent say, well, they ain't done nothing with them all year, so I don't want to send them in there and they still don't do nothing with them. So the way to bypass that is to ask what they're going to teach them and what is little JJ going to get out of it. Don't sit back and say that they're not going to do something. You demand that they do it. And that's why we got a whole movement. And parents learned that last night. The difference between advocacy and movement building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you just one parent who I've been tracking. I mean, came to the training, had a talk with her organizer, came to the training, and we were talking about it earlier, but she demanded that our school get her child to para. Another parent was talking to her school. She was like, she wants her child to read better and be able to do basic math. And so I think we were listening, and they were reading like this long document that they have to read. And that document they have to read puts you to sleep. But I think the questions were, okay, but at the end of the day, where's my child going to be academically at the end of the year? Where's my child going to be academically at the end of 8th grade? And is my child going to be on grade level by the time they graduate? Like, those are the questions.
And my thing is, don't even stop there. Set high expectations. I don't even on grade level. I want them beyond. I kind of like that word rigor. I know a lot of the charter schools use that rigor. They use scholar, and now the district's talking about promising scholars. That's good, or whatever. But what's going to be scholarly about this? Like, words mean something. You call my child a scholar, what are they going to be a scholar at?
Right.
Like, question everybody. Words mean something, man. If you don't know the word, Google it. When people give you stuff, Google them words. Find out what that word means. Because folk will word play you. Torva says, be intentional like the people that keep calling me about auto repair warranty coverage. You got that right.
But again, somebody doing it on that level, right? If we have seen the game, right? Because they can track you down wherever you are. New phone number, Boost Mobile, T-Mobile, they're gonna get your number. They're gonna track you down. How can we use that same technology and resource to apply to our schools? Because one thing I realized, I was talking to a parent on Monday, and he had his daughter in the school for 1 or 2 days. And without him really even being involved in education, he took his daughter out and signed her up in another school. I was like, but what made you do that? He was just like, it didn't feel right and it didn't sound right. And he was like, we was out. He was like, maybe they were doing well, but he was like walking into the school, talking to the teachers. It didn't sound right. It didn't feel right. He started to do his own research and he found another school that fit his daughter better. And he was like, she's thriving now. And like, that's the parent power.
And it's about, a lot of this is about the culture of the school, right? He talked about how he felt.
Yep.
So what I identified that he cared most about was the culture.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, don't feel right, don't look right, don't sound right. Well, what is the culture in that school? What is the atmosphere when I walk into that school? And we talk about, you know, school choice and decision making. And let's move into a conversation, an article, John, that came out.
Okay.
About the grant that the district got.
Okay, was that the 14 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, start off, and then I'm gonna pull it up on the screen so people can see it and put the link so they can have access to it. And so I will say, and Sonia's gonna dig into it, but what I read from the article last night, that we're redoing some of the way we do some of our schools and turning them into magnet schools. And I get really excited when we think about and talk about magnet schools, because I see the magnet schools that we have now. But someone who has, you know, worked in the district, has a son in the district, I also have a good memory. And I remember how a round of magnet schools went 10 years ago to the day, and what became part of them and where are they now. And that's what I'll talk about. But Sonya, like, kick us off.
I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
You apply for a grant and, you know, you're awarded that funding. I think that is absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also responsibility. There's also accountability. There is expectations that come along with that. And so I have a question about the exciting opportunity that the school has to invest towards supporting schools like IT Crestwell and Carter Lawrence and Alex Green and Tom Joy. My question to parents is, what does magnet mean to you? There are many schools in Nashville that have the word magnet at the end of them. We have some great magnets. We have 2 magnet schools that have been recognized as top performing schools even across this country. Your HOG and your MLK. And those are schools that you got to apply to get into. So I also believe in school choice and a parent's ability to make a decision, an informed decision for their child's education. And I celebrate the district getting the funding. I even celebrate that they feel like this is an opportunity to make available more school choices for students, because that's important, more options. What I'm concerned about is what that really means. Does changing the name of the school make it a magnet school? What is going to make these schools of high achievement? Where's the plan to do so? Where is the progress documented? Because when we look at schools that were previously named theme magnet schools, there has not been much progress. Warner has shown some progress.
Yep.
But for the most part, are we putting lipstick on a pig?
Yeah. Or I would say it better for the guys, I guess, can relate. When I played basketball all day and it was time to go to the skating rink, instead of like really going in to clean up, I put on clothes and put on cologne. Did that help me really smell better? Nah, it wasn't the cologne.
It was
It was
funky.
the process.
Well,
Yeah.
you funky as hell if you put on cologne on top of that dirty, body.
Yep, sweat. Yep. And so when I look at this, and the reason I said that, because I remember in 2010, 2011, we went through the same process. And it was a school in North Nashville on DP Todd. And I remember parents were so fired up to send their kids to the school. And the school looked great. Like I would have sent my son there. But one thing they didn't change was the inside culture. They probably had really good curriculum. They probably had like the shiny things that look good, but they never changed the culture. And parents were coming from all across town to send their kids, and they were pulling them out in less than a week because they didn't do the real work of changing, like Sonya said, the culture, and connecting the culture with academic achievement and the support and really making parents as partners. And it went downhill. Like that school maybe lasted as a thematic magnet for a year.
And so, are we just changing the names of schools? Or do we really have a plan to increase academic achievement in these schools so that they're really a school choice?
Yeah.
They're really a choice for these parents, a quality choice in which parents have access. Who's going to have access to these schools, John?
Yeah.
In the past, who has had access to these schools?
Yeah, it hasn't been the people right there in the community. So one thing that I did notice is someone who was working in a school. I mean, people were coming from outside of the community because they felt really good about it. They saw the orientation and thought it was going to be like Megs or Head, MLK or Hume Fogg, and so they were jumping on it. But again, like these parents didn't last a week. If they lasted a week, they didn't last 2 weeks. And so it's when you talk about the access, I think we have an opportunity to really, make parents as partners. I think that's the missing component when you get a lot of fancy people, a lot of quote unquote smart people in the room, and not be smart enough to ask parents what they think and ask parents what it should look like, how should the culture be. When we talk about TN Ready this week, like it was an uproar around, we talking about TN Ready test, a test we need to take. Kids been virtual, and some schools were saying that nope, you have to wear a uniform. It was a disconnect. Like they never once listened to, well, parents, what do you think? And so when we think about this magnet school, and we already tried it once in 2011, we can't keep making the same mistakes. And we got a lot of smart parents who understand, who have had kids who have already gone through the school system, who could give them better advice than a consultant from out of town can give you any day.
I do have a question. Why is the district allowed to make the same mistake over and over again? Who are they really? Who makes these decisions, and who are they accountable to? What is the role of each individual like this making this decision? Because as we looked at this historically, has never worked.
Yeah.
And what I'm afraid of is this is just a way, again, to put lipstick on a pig and change. It seems like a PR move to a certain extent, right? To have 21 priority schools in 2018 and to have several ASD schools, and none of these schools have really made any progress. None. Some have shown a little growth, but not meaningful progress.
And you said it, Sonia. Even the best player needed a coach. Like, I'm gonna just say, in basketball, Michael Jordan, Kobe, they still needed Phil Jackson. And so you can have the best intentions, but if you're not getting pushed and you're not partnering with and being a team player, because you can score 40. I hate to use all these basketball analogies, but Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in one game and they still lost the game.
Why?
Because he didn't use his team. And they just said it's the Wilt show. So we're going to let Wilt score all these points, but we chilling. And so we're the teammates. We got Wilt Chamberlain with this $14 million contract. Is Wilt going to pass the parents the ball? And I'm going to get some better analogies next week, but that's the best I can do.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like this. So if you're a superstar, there's some key characteristics you got to have in leadership to be able to pass the ball. You got to be inclusive. You got to be inclusive. And your teammates, parents may not know everything at a high level, or you may think they don't. But as a leader, it's not about what you think they don't have. It's knowing what they do have and you having the ability to inspire them, push them, and to develop them. And that's what we do here at Nashville Propel. And you know what? We're not even expecting the district to do that, because that's what we do. We organize and we develop parents into powerful parent leaders. And that's what we're going to do. And the district has failed. No, they hadn't failed. Actually, they're doing what they're set up to do. They don't want true parent partnership on our terms. They've done so much to us and they talk at us. And that is the culture that they have created. So I'm going to put summer school on the MNPS website, or I'm going to decide whether or not what your child wears to come into Tennessee Ready, or even I'm going to change this name of this school and add Magnet on there, have the same people in there, the same instruction. It doesn't matter like what this is going to produce in the end, because you know what? You got to come here anyway. And I'm going to tell you that I'm giving you a choice, because I'm going to put Magnet on here. So I'm going to tell you that you're getting a choice and you're going to have a better option, but you're not telling me what you're promising me and what you're promising my scholar.
Use the words that they use.
You're not telling me when I go to Tom Joy, am I going to walk into the same culture where the children ain't got no, where the principal says the children don't have a father and they don't know no better. Direct quote from her mouth, and I got up and I went off and stood outside their building and did it live, didn't I, John? That was a year ago.
Yeah.
Cindy, is that the Magnet school our children going into?
Yeah.
Because that ain't it, sis and bruh. Because that principal over there has very poor leadership and has a track record of it. Yeah, I just said it and I mean it. And if anybody wants to refute it and defend it, go ahead, because I'm ready and here for it. But anyway, I got an attitude.
Yeah, but that was real. And so as we get ready to wrap up, like, keep us posted on TN Ready. Like, we got a fellowship alumni and a fellowship group right now who are fired up and holding the system accountable. They're meeting with the schools, they're demanding what they need, but to keep hearing from you guys, like, is really helpful, and it keeps us on top of things. I think the last thing that I'll talk about, then I'll let you in, Sonya, is just getting active. Like, don't let the end of this year pass you by without making sure your kids and other people's kids got the best. The district. So as we look at the household, right, I spent more money on my electricity bill this year because I was at home a lot, right? I spent more money on my food because I was at home a lot. So as we think about a traditional budget in MNPS, and we think about, we spent more money here, meaning we didn't spend more money in our schools, and just the money that we're getting, the budget, $923 million. This grant for $14.6 million, the stimulus funds, which are close to additional $400 million, the food services budget, which is high. Like, we have to realize we do have to hold our system accountable to get what we need, because this is going to be the best maybe in a lifetime. I thought when we got $500 million for the state, 7 years ago, I thought that was great, but this just shows you, like,
yeah, we
got to take advantage of this opportunity. This is a crisis, and it's a crisis each of us have worked through with our kids doing virtual learning from home. But we got to hold the system accountable, myself included. Like, we got to be held accountable, and we got to hold the others in leadership accountable. And I'll pass it to you, Sonya.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the sound of my voice, you have received $900 million, $24 million, 120 something, 140 something million dollars. Am I leaving out some? $110 million.
Right.
$14.6 million. Take ownership of it, parents and grandparents. The school system belongs to the parents, grandparents, and children in the city of Nashville. I officially have over $1 billion. And I want to know where every penny of it goes. And I want to make sure that whatever is being purchased, contracted out, decision that's being made, I want to be the CEO up in there, the CFO. And you as parents and grandparents have got to start thinking in that matter. You are the stakeholders. You are the people in which this funding is being given to. And even educators. You need to have a say so as to, is what you're going to be producing going to help children?
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Oftentimes you're not even asked.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to reference the Tennessee Ready thing about that. I'm going to take up just a few minutes about this. And the reason why I want to is because we get so lost in bullshit that we forget who we really need to be making a priority here, and that's children. And I can't for the life of me understand the big deal about who's being held accountable when we know who should be held accountable. And I don't understand why it's a conversation piece. I mean, I know it's sexy, right? But the state and the system should be held accountable. Period. People still went to work all year and taught in class. What was the outcome of that? Who's doing a root cause analysis? What happened? We know why it happened, COVID. Like why it happened, some of it because of COVID. What do we need to do better? How do we use Tennessee Ready? How do we use that data to improve? How do we gauge how bad it really was? We should be moving hell and high water to test every student and to measure what happened in each and every household, every school building, behind every computer, how effective or ineffective the instruction was. Money was spent for Florida virtual. Well, how effective was it? Who's measuring that? Where's the progress report? Dr. Swin, you're accountable. It's not about attacking a teacher. And we said that yesterday. It's not about attacking teachers. It's about accountability and expectations. Folk got paychecks during this time. The federal government, the state government, and y'all making it rain. Money everywhere. John, what you say about all this money?
I don't even know what it smelled like.
Don't even know what it smelled like. There is so much money being floated around. There is so much potential for misuse, mismanagement, and fraudulent behavior. And there is so much risk potential that children won't get anything that they need. They will not see a penny of this. And that's keeping me awake at night. Not in there. Monday night, we will have no other than my friend, my ace, Boom Coon, somebody that I have grown to love because she's passionate. And she represents her fight. And I'm so proud of her and so glad that I met her over a year ago when Visha Hawkins hosted a school to prison pipeline panel at Purpose Prep. And I met Anna Thorson. And Anna is a parent of 2 Metro School daughters. And she is an advocate for those who have experienced dyslexia, and she has experienced it herself. And she fights every day to make sure that parents and grandparents and children know their rights, whether it's in the realm of dyslexia or any other disability, because she knows that we just give people what they need, nothing will stop them. And we have to stop putting limitations on our children. We just have to do what's right by them. And she holds people accountable. She fights in a different way, but she fights hard. And so on Monday night at 6 p.m., we will have our monthly speaker series, and we will have a discussion about dyslexia and about other disability acts, so parents know their rights and the steps. We want to get a clear understanding. What does dyslexia mean? What does it mean to have dyslexia as we tread on this path, this road to ensuring that literacy is at the forethoughts of everything? And so many Black children in our community struggle from dyslexia, and parents don't even know it. And it's because of the lack of understanding and education around what it means to have dyslexia. It's not about spelling things wrong or seeing things backwards. There's more to it. And so what we want to do is empower you to be able to identify characteristics. And what we're seeing is a trend of MNPS not identifying dyslexia as a disability. We have some children who have IEPs that say they lack basic reading skills. So that's like, as Anna put it, saying that somebody has cancer and never telling them what type of cancer they have. And so then how do you really treat it? How do you really address it? And it may be some of the problem why you guys are not seeing that the accommodations that your children are receiving in the IEP are not working. It's because you got people who wordplay and are talking over your head, and you don't understand your rights, and you're just not a subject matter expert. But we're going to change that and develop your power so that you can be powerful and you can help others to be powerful. So on Monday night, 6 p.m., Anna Thorson will be here with us. And I think that's it. John, we got anything else? We went over a little bit, but I thought it was important to stop and talk about that. Shout out to everybody who was on the campaign call last night. It was amazing. I was on cloud 9. Y'all know what we got to do when we got to do it.
Nah, that was great. Look forward to seeing everybody. I see Clarissa just jumped on it. And just thank you for all the parents who jumped on. I see Torvis, Cliff, Sasha, Joyce, Lita. Who else has been on here? I see Miss
Lita, missed you last night. Call us. We got something up. Call us. It's right up your
niece, Angela, Maria. I feel like I'm DMX out here. Crystal, Tamika, Kimberly, Maria, Dominique. So thank you guys for jumping on. Thank you guys for engaging. And we will see you guys Monday night for most of you guys. And the rest of you, we'll see you next Wednesday.